Welcome to the Intrazone, a show about the Microsoft 365 Intelligent Intranet. I'm Mark Cashman, here on behalf of the work of a wonderful team, the team behind making SharePoint pages beautiful, easy to use, and highly functional. This episode is an audio tutorial that pulls together 10 ways to make a SharePoint page work for you after you publish it. We know that there are so many ways to work with pages to make them look great, to carry all the information that you want them to, imagery, graphics, charts, links, you name it. You can do so many things with SharePoint pages these days with layouts and all the different web parts and organize them to your heart's content. Design, and get them looking great and ready for your audience. But what do you do after you create the page? There are so many ways that you can put a page closer to your reader and sometimes share it directly to them intact without requiring them to click away from where they are already focused and working. The following 10 ways are all built-in features of SharePoint and related technology that's woven in and integrated, geared to help you get the word out. It's not sorcery, it is truly magical. So get ready to flex your post-publication page amplification, because it is very important not only to create a great page, but to actually get it in front of people so that they can see your communication and consume it. So here we go. Number 1, add the page to your site navigation. One of the first things you can do to increase visibility and bolster your site structure is to add your page to the site navigation. That's the vertical navigation, the left nav for team sites, or the horizontal top navigation for communication sites. It's very easy to do. There's a promote button on your page, and then you just go from the promote dialog, which is a bunch of things that you can do, and you just click Add to Page Navigation. You can also do this manually. In both cases, when you add a link to your page into the site nav, it uses the page title for the text, and then you can edit accordingly, both the text and where you want it to appear in the navigation element, including support for emoji. Always use emoji because it stands out, especially in the nav, when you can really hit home both a great couple of words and a really great emoji. Number 2. Post your page as news on the site. Like we've already said, you got your page looking great, filled with media, it's organized, and it just sits there. It's a page in SharePoint. That's not terrible, but we want to give it a little bit of a push, a bit of a forward momentum, if you will. Let's put it into the default news service to put it front and center, commonly into a news web part sitting on the site's homepage. Or better yet, have it flow up and into the news web part of a parent hub site. This will give your page, now a news post, visibility beyond the page itself and into the flow where people see a collection of, as you would expect, news posts, collected news articles. To do this, again, turn to the promote button on the page and click Post as News on this site. It's very easy. And the beautiful thing about the news service is it does a lot of work for you, especially once you have things wired up across connected sites within a hub site, like I mentioned. Number 3, add your page as a tab in a Teams channel. You can bring your team's resources to one central place so that team members can focus, communicate, and collaborate to get work done. That's what Teams is all about. Now, add the SharePoint app in Teams to quickly paste any published page, any published news article, or even a list from a SharePoint site. That's what the SharePoint app in Teams is all about. There's also an app called the SharePoint Pages app, which really focuses on, as it sounds, SharePoint pages. Either way, you'll be able to pull in a page that's existing into a tab in your Teams channel. When you use the SharePoint app in Teams channel, the app itself, you're sharing the full fidelity SharePoint page to share information, news, or ideas, again, using and showcasing those images, videos, links, and it all looks formatted like a pro, like you intended, similar to the page to email capability that I'm going to mention here in 2 more examples. The SharePoint page appears in full fidelity as a tab in Microsoft Teams, and the benefit is you can now edit in place if you have the right level of access. So a page as a tab in Teams is great for consuming, but it's also a place where if you need to make changes, you don't need to go back to SharePoint. You can do it right there within Microsoft Teams. All right, that's number 3. Moving on to number 4, share a page as a link in a Teams chat. Sometimes the easiest way to share is to share via a link in a chat. And in a Teams chat, the link to a SharePoint page unfurls to present the main page title and core graphic, no longer that long URL without any visual component. It's now beautiful and easy to consume, especially when you're the one sharing it. The recipient just sees this beautiful image with your SharePoint page title. When you add a link to a SharePoint page in a Microsoft Teams chat, the link unfurls with the image, title, and an indicator that it is a SharePoint page. You can do this very easily. You copy the page link, you paste it within a Teams chat, you add your context like you would with anything, and then you hit send. And in that way, your page goes directly into your consumer's eyes. And if they click on it, they'll actually be taken directly to your SharePoint page. But they'll definitely get the gist of what the page is about even before they click on the link. Number 5, send your page as a formatted email. This is the one that I hinted at a little bit earlier, where we really maintain that formatted page as an email, a really beautiful looking email. And as our friend Scott Hanselman puts it, there are a finite number of keystrokes left in your hands before you die. This is a great blog worth reading. I'll have a link in the show notes. So in the respective nature of SharePoint, we want to let the SharePoint page save you keystrokes so you can enjoy the living. This feature enables you to convert a SharePoint page into an email that people can read fully in their inboxes. No losing context, being kicked out of SharePoint. You engage your audience directly where they are working, and you can track mail reading metrics so you get a sense of who opened it and how effective your outreach was. Plus a tip, you can add a SharePoint page link into your internal email oof message when you're out of office. The recipients get the value of your page while you're reading non-work pages on your Kindle on a nice beach on vacation. Number 6, post your page directly to a Viva Engage community. You can share a page to an Engage community using the full experience of Engage conversations, which include a rich preview for the media, as well as visual treatment for things like questions, praise, and polls. You can also add images and add rich text to the message, same as you would to add context to an email. You can do this very easily. Again, turn to that wonderful promote button and click Viva Engage. It'll prompt you to then fill out which community you want to post to, ask you to add any of that context, and then it'll send it off and have a nice preview with a link back to your SharePoint page when people are ready to click into it. Number 7, save your page as a page template. You've created this beautiful SharePoint page, and you want to make it available for others to use as a starting point for their future pages. Or you need to create a page, but you're not sure where to start. A page template could be the way to go, and always the way forward to save time and add rigor to how you have a preferred look and formatting over time as you repeat and create pages over and over again. Once you have your page looking good in edit mode, click the Save and Close dropdown. Then you'll see and click Save as Template. It now appears in the Templates pane under Saved on this site. There's also 2 alternative similar approaches that I want to mention. You can also click the New button on the original page and then select Copy of this page. In this way, SharePoint will start a new page in the Site Pages folder, and then you make your changes and publish your new page as a net new page. The other way, if you go to Site Contents and click on the 3-dot ellipses menu, choose the Copy To, and you can duplicate your page to a new location. And that is maybe not always a best practice to have multiple copies of the page, but if you want to move the page and add some different context for a different team or a project that you're working with, Copy To keeps the original, makes a new copy with all the content intact, And then again, make your changes, click publish, and voila, you have another great new page and hopefully saved yourself a lot of time. Templates are always the way forward, and it is always a great way to increase your impact because you won't have to spend as much time doing a lot of the formatting and organizing work. Templates carry that and can help you get started even faster. Number 8, encourage others to save for later. This is an option that you'll see across a lot of different content types. And SharePoint pages have it too. They have this nice feature called Save for Later. You'll see it looks like a bookmark icon. When Save for Later is selected, a list of recently saved items is displayed. You can select See All Saved Items to view the entire list of saved items. Within the page itself, you can click the bookmark icon to save for later, or when you click the favorite action, this too tags the page and can then appear within the quick access portion of the Microsoft 365 app, especially when you filter by favorites. This is one of those things that if you start to build the muscle of collecting your pages or encouraging others that if they really liked your page to favorite it so they can come back to it, it might have been an important quarterly business review readout, or it might have been some project spec diagram that had a lot of details around what you're going to be doing with your next product update. It's a great way for people to then save it and get back to it much more quickly. Again, closer to where they are working, in their favorites, in their saved for later items. With bonus points, if you want to achieve them, you can try the Save for Later web part within a SharePoint page, where when you're designing your next SharePoint page and you want to highlight all those items that have been saved for later, you can do that. Use the web part and let it do the work for you. Number 9. This is an important one from a change management perspective. Delete out-of-date pages. You never really want to delete a page, but the best way for an old, out-of-date page to work for you is to delete it. Old information, especially within your business, usually causes more harm than good. And if you have a good governance plan in place, this might fall within the category of archive. You can delete a SharePoint page or a news post from within its page details. Again, don't delete a page if you don't want to delete a page, but if you think if it's out of date and you're not going to update the page, it's easier to either archive or delete it. I highly encourage you to do that so that people don't come across out-of-date information. How to do this, again, while you're in edit mode, go to the page details and click delete page, or go into the site contents, click into the site pages folder, select the page in that folder, and then like any other file in SharePoint, click delete. Number 10, this is really one that you've heard me say a couple of times, and it might be where you want to start if you want to start some of these and give them a try. Pilot out your first way of increasing your impact and outreach. You can find most of everything that we've walked through under that promote button. So find the promote button, click it, and I'll keep this short since it's a true catch-all of everything that we've been talking about. Go to any page that you want to promote and click the promote button. You'll see the below pop-up that says help others find your page. That is a launch pad to amplifying your page beyond itself and beyond its site. It's a really easy menu that pops up and you'll see all the options. And oftentimes when you're really wanting to do outreach and have great impact, you don't just do one of these 10 things. You do a lot of them so that you put it in the site navigation, you share it broadly through the news service, you outreach to communities, you share it with people directly in email and Teams, and on and on. There's a lot of ways to increase the reach of your pages, which truly is increasing the reach of your communications. And if you do this consistently, of course, it is something that you'll get very familiar with. In the end, there are many ways SharePoint helps you get the word out. The Microsoft support team maintains a great relevant help and how-to article. It's called Create and Use Modern Pages on a SharePoint site. I will, of course, link to that in the show notes. I guarantee you will find that it's invaluable and shows the power and flexibility of pages even after you write, design, and publish. To learn more about the latest Pages capabilities, we recently published a new related demo training video titled Design Engaging SharePoint Sites and Pages with our Pages product lead, Melissa Torres. Again, I'll have the link in the show notes. It's a great video. It's an easy watch to learn a lot of the great new things that you can do with SharePoint sites and pages. And once you get comfortable with Pages, take a peek at what's going on with Microsoft Viva Amplify. This is where you can centralize your campaign management, your publishing at scale, and reporting to increase the reach of your communications, all based on the same SharePoint Pages platform. And this investment helps you do a lot of the things that we've talked about in fewer clicks because it really is wired into becoming the distribution engine for your communications. Last, the SharePoint team, including some of the Pages experts, will be at the Microsoft 365 Community Conference. This is in May 6th through 8th, 2025, where they're going to be sharing the latest, offering guidance and tips, and help you engage with them so that they can get your feedback, you can ask questions, and it'll be a great event, especially when you can really have nice long-form discussions. So the 101 about the Microsoft 365 Community Conference, it takes place in Las Vegas, May 6th through the 8th at the MGM Grand Hotel. It's produced by the Next Gen 365 Events, sponsored by Microsoft and partners, and will feature 200 plus sessions with Microsoft executives and product experts leading more than 100 sessions across keynotes from Jeff Teeper, Jared Spataro, Vasu Jakal, and Caruana Gatimu, my manager. Plus, breakouts, theater presentations, roundtable discussions, AMAs where you can ask Microsoft anything, and of course, the workshops where you get real depth in training that you want to take back and become a true expert with a specific skill. The Microsoft 365 Community Conference will provide the ultimate in-depth experience for customers and partners who want to learn, grow, and succeed in the era of AI with Microsoft 365 Copilot, Microsoft 365 apps like SharePoint, Teams, Viva, OneDrive, Planner, Loop, the list goes on. More. There's so much at this conference. You can use the discount code SAVE150 to save $150 off your conference ticket. I encourage you to register today at aka.ms/M365con25, and I'll see you in Vegas. And if you do come to the Microsoft 365 Community Conference, you'll be able to find me up on the 3rd level at the Community Lounge, doing lots of crazy activities and having fun and ensuring that we give you a lot of opportunities to meet experts, engage with each other, and of course, maybe a little swag. To close out, I want to give a shout out to the SharePoint Pages team. They do so much great work, pre-publication, post-publication, the way that they wire across all the integration points that we talked about throughout this episode. They are Melissa Torres, Judith Yakubi, Caitlin Helms, Nicole Woon, Ruma Shamarthi, Sarah Cummings, and all the amazing engineers that are coding the capabilities into the SharePoint Pages platform for you and I to take full advantage of how we can communicate clearly and effectively throughout Microsoft 365, and most importantly, throughout your organization. We encourage you to check out our show page for links to all that was discussed today and more. Go to aka.ms/theintrozone. Send us your questions and feedback for the SharePoint team, especially for the SharePoint Pages team. I'd love to pass on your feedback if you have any questions. You can always email us at theintrozone@microsoft.com or via Twitter at SharePoint and at mcashman. Remember to rate, review, and tell all your friends about the show. Follow the show wherever you get your favorite tech podcasts. I thank you for listening. This is Mark Cashman, and you have been listening to The Intrazone, a show about the Microsoft 365, a page from history, intelligent intranet.